Hello everybody, my name is Beth Moore. I am an independent designer with Chalk Couture, and we're going to do a project tonight called The Farm. It reminds me of some of it brings back memories for me because long time ago we had this big red barn in our backyard, and of course we had an old vintage pickup truck that I dearly loved. And I'm going to try to recreate some of that tonight. And I'm going to start with the barn. Now this is the transfer that I'm going to use, and this is a C-size transfer. And if you look at it, let me take it out of the wrapper. This, when I look at my monitor, it looks like it's just shiny. See if this won't help a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll be better. But this is it's a layered transfer. We're gonna start off with the bottom part of the barn, and then after that paint dries, or that paste dries, we're gonna apply the top part here. Now it's got Life is Better on the farm. It's got a windmill. It's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different pieces to this transfer. But we're going to cut it apart. And this piece of board, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but of course actually Mark found this. He's been scavenging all kind of different places around the house. We've been doing some construction, and he came up with this board, and we decided that we were going to paint it. And this is something that we're going to use at our own home, and we're trying to depict the sky, and hopefully we can make it look just like a old farm place. I'll hold up the board here in just a second. Now also, I have to tell you, give you a sneak peek, we're going to use this. This is a vintage pickup truck, and we're going to put this on the board too, and hopefully we can make it look like that it's driving to the barn. That's what our goal is, to do it that way. But it's a layered transfer. You start off with the bottom layer and then you apply the top, but that's coming a little bit later. Now this board is kind of big. It's heavy too. But what we did is Mark found it, and I've actually waxed and sanded the area that we're going to work on tonight. And we're going to have to just kind of piece this video together. So I did do a light sanding of the whole board, but what we're going to do tonight is we're going to put our barn in place and our silo, and we're going to use 3 different colors. Of course, every barn has to be red. So we've got the red paste out. And then the silo is kind of a silver, but it's shiny in the sunshine. So we've got the silver shimmer in the paste. And then of course I'm going to trim the barn with white, bright white paste. So those are my 3 different colors that I'm going to use tonight. And then as we piece this puzzle together, and I'm not saying start off with a project like this, but this is something that I'm thinking about putting it up on my mantelpiece, and I think it just brings back good memories for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me rearrange my work area here just a second. Get my pheasant cloth over. And like I said, I did go ahead and take the liberty of waxing this just a bit. I'm gonna move this chair out of the way, because this board's a lot bigger than I thought for. Okay, now get it in our work area. Now this is something else that I did, and I'm just going to show you just a little bit. I just sanded lightly over this. I'm not taking any of the paint off or anything. It just pretty much makes it to where there's no sharp edges or anything that'll catch my transfers. And of course these sandpaper and these little things like this come, I got this one at Carson and Denson's here in Macon. Now what we've done with this board up here, I've tried to depict the sky. So I've painted it a pool blue all over, and then I pulled in just by taking my brush and just swiping through, and then taking a cloth and just kind of wiping it away. I pulled in a, I believe it was the Mermaid Parade that we've used in previous videos, but just to kind of have a little light and dark contrast there. All right, let's see. Now the next thing we're going to do, since definitely we're going to fuzz this transfer, and remember we have to start with number 1 and number 2. And the cool thing about these transfers is they have little bitty dots right up here on both sides. So supposedly that is to help us line it up and that kind of situation. So a lot of times what people will do is put a piece of colored tape, but we're going to try to freehand it, or eyeball it, as you might say, this evening. So I'm going to put this on the board up about 4 inches. So I'm thinking about right up there, because I want it to look like it's kind of out in a distance. And I might have to get my measuring tool back out to make sure that I'm got it in the right spot. But now this one has a lot of silk screen on it. And look there, it's a good thing that that happened, because you certainly don't want that to happen and you just yank it apart. You have to be kind of easy and easy peasy to get it apart. Now I'm fuzzing with the terry cloth up, because usually that'll give you a little lint, and you can kind of see right there that you've already beginning to get a buildup on the back. Okay, let's see what we can figure out. I'm going to measure one more time just to make sure. I'm going to go up a little bit further. What diddle? I take it up too high or down too low, one of the two. This one's going to be it, regardless if it's right or not. We're going to say that looks fabulous right there. But I will look to see. I will check it out. It looks about 4 inches to me. Yeah, it's close enough. Alrighty. Now what we're doing is making sure that all the screen on this transfer is down to the wood as much as it possibly can be. Because when we paint on this, of course on the green spots, it's not going to get on the, it won't get on the wood. But on the open areas, and this has got a lot of open area, this is going to be where we put our red down. Now, of course, you know me, and we all get real frisky sometimes when we get to, I get excited when I think it's all going to come together right, and all of a sudden I've done pulled all the way down. Just get real happy. And when you put your painter's tape or frog tape or masking tape, you always want to make sure that you seal it as best you can, because you don't want it to seep out up underneath there. Okay, now we're using paste tonight, and of course we're going to have to spray a little bit of water, distilled water in there, and mix our paste up. In this heat, you can't hardly keep it to a yogurt consistency. And gosh, we've got the air conditioner on in here, but whew, it's so hot. We're here in middle Georgia. What have you guys been doing today? We've been soaking in the pool pretty much off and on all day. We did a little bit, had a little yard work that we needed to do, and we would do a little yard work and then we go jump in the pool. So I guess if somebody was looking from above, they would think that something had happened to us. We were just fly over there right quick and jump in, and then we'd get back out and start again. But thank goodness for water, because it certainly has made a big difference. Okay, here we go. Red, and this is candy apple red paste. And I know this is going to be a huge seller at Christmas this year. Okay. Okay, we're going to kind of just pull across and see if we can make sure that we get everything even and smooth as we can. This big old red barn. Boy, howdy, we used to go down there, and we had horses, and we keep the horses in the barn during the winter time and feed them, and actually tell on my own self, but you know, my mom and dad are already gone to heaven, so hopefully they won't hold this against me, but I smoked my first cigarette down behind the barn, and whew, I got so dizzy. I thought, oh, but you know what? That didn't deter me in the least. I smoked for years. But I'm happy to say that I do not smoke anymore. I am smoke free. Alrighty, I got the masking tape off, and it wants to stick to my fingers. Let's see how our barn's gonna look. Oh yeah. Now that kind of looks like a barn, but then again, you're looking at it thinking, okay, how's that gonna come together? I promise you it will. Hang on just a second. Okay, now, let me get the heat gun. Now these transfers, this vintage truck and this farm and all of these farmhouse transfers are they pretty much hang around. Everybody likes them and they hang around. And this is something that I've been wanting to do, but I guess just kind of a little bit intimidated by the fact that we're going to layer it and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm going to put the silo up there. But I'm certainly not going to let this thing just heat up, and then me stick that transfer down. Nope, I learned my lesson on that one. Stuck that bad boy right to it. Okay. So while it's cooling off, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my transfer and just purely my work area. Now remember, when you start cleaning up transfers and your utensils, you can use baby wipes for your utensils, but your transfers, you don't want to use baby wipes to clean them up. If you don't have your water basin, or well as they call them, available, you can always use the distilled water in your little spray bottle, and you can use Clorox wipes. But tonight I'm just going to go ahead and clean this one up right here for us. And I love these chalk erasers too, because you just kind of submerge it in the water, and of course it gets your hands all nasty. Not nasty, but all colored up. See, my water is turning fire red. Now these deeper colors a lot of times will stain your transfers, and that's okay, because if it's stained on the outside of the transfer, there's not a whole lot there. That's not in a problem area that could cause you problem in future designs. But if you let the paste or the ink dry right in here where the screen is, then you're going to have trouble. You really are. You're just absolutely going to have, a lot of times you can't get it out, so you've ruined your transfer. Alrighty. Let me get my hands dry real good. I've got 2 of these going here at the same time. Now, yeah, I believe the board can support another layer. Here we go. Let's just clip this end right here. And we're gonna fuzz. And then we're gonna use our eyeballs and see if we can't line this up, or maybe near about line it up. If you hear any loud knocking, we have a roofer on top of our house. And by George, when I introduced him, he showed out for us. Okay, now let's put this over. And now comes the tricky part. believe that's about the best we're going to be able to do there. I think it looks pretty good. Now, we're going to do everything on the barn white. This is going to be the silver shimmer, and then we're going to have the white picket fence. So we're going to go ahead and do that part. Paste might need just a smidgen. Smidgen of water. Alrighty, I'm going to put this right over there. We're just going to work a little bit along. But you know, I'm not going to go out there and tell him not to roof, because I'll be honest with you, just trying to get this house roofed has just been an ordeal. I don't know if it's like people don't want to work anymore. And they need to work. Okay, just a smidgen more right there. Okay, we're going to rake it back in now. Almost missed a spot right there. Now I'm going to get out a different tool for that. And this is the multi-purpose tool, and you can see it allows you to just kind of get into areas that you're thinking, oh goodness, am I going to make it in there or not? You can hold it like a pencil. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull up a little bit on this one, because I'll be honest with you, I don't want it to stick. And we'll lay it back down gently. I think you guys are going to like this. It's looking good to me. Alright, let's get this cleaned up so we can get our silo on. Maybe I'll even lift this part right here. Lift it just a little bit. Okay. Alrighty. Now that we've got everything pretty much done with the white, we're going to put it up. Yes, goodness, that roofer. I am so glad he's here, but it's been like pulling teeth to get him to come to work. So I'll put up with a little noise. Alright, we're going to add our silver shimmer. And see, this is actually in really good shape. Okay. We may even add a little bit of white to that. We'll see how we think it looks when we get it done. Let's see. I think I'm going to do it with this. Because I can just kind of pull. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so, this is cute. Okay, our paste is kind of wearing out, so let me get a little bit more. I love this little tool right here. It just, you can put this paste pretty much where you want it to go. Without hopefully bringing it into everything else. Alrighty, I think it's almost done there. So let's grab and we'll do the reveal. Here we go. Wow. Look at that. I got to show y'all this, yeah. That is so cool to me. What do you think? This is going to be another part here. And we'll do some in fast motion, some in slow motion. But this reminds me of home, guys. The big old red barn in the backyard. Take a look at my shop. I'm telling you guys, this is so much fun. I would love to include you. That would be a terrific get together for some of me and my old friends. We could chalk a little bit and talk a little bit, you know. And then maybe it would be somebody else that you could think of. But yeah, I'm open to workshops, and I'm talking in-person workshops. We can social distance, we can do whatever you want to. But this is going to be the farm, or I may put life is better at the farm or on the farm, which it is. We've got our little garden growing back there in the back right now. And we're so tickled to death with our cucumbers and our tomatoes and our peppers. We're just Farmer John. All right, guys, stay tuned.